हरि ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाये नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादः शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शङ्करं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरम् भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वतीपतये हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। We'll begin with the Shanti mantra. ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। We shall chant the seventh mantra. नान्तप्रज्ञं न बहिष्प्रज्ञं नो भयतप्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञानगणं न प्रज्ञं नाप्रज्ञम् अदृष्टम् अव्यवहार्यम् अग्राह्यम् अलक्षणम् अचिन्त्यम् अव्यपदेश्यम् एकात्मप्रत्ययसारं प्रपञ्चोपशमं शान्तं शिवम् अद्वैतं चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः. So in the beginning itself, Mandukya Upanishad tells that everything is Om and everything is Brahma. Om is the name and Brahma is the Tattva, which is named as Om. So Brahma alone is everything, all that was in the past, present, future, and that which is beyond the three periods of time is Brahma. We have to realize Brahma. We have to recognize Brahma. So how to recognize Brahma? The Upanishad says, Ki ayam Atma Brahma. Your own Atma is Brahma. So realizing your own Atma itself is realizing Brahma. There is no difference between Atma and Brahma. But Atma we experience at different levels. In the waking state, we experience ourselves as Vishwa. In dream, we experience ourselves as Taijasa. In deep sleep, we know ourselves as Pradnya. But the real self is Turiya. So in the waking state, I consider myself as this Vishwa knower of the outer world. In dream, I become the knower of the inner world. In deep sleep, I remain knower without knowing anything. But Atma is still deeper than that. The Atma is deeper than whatever we know about the Atma now. So we have to transcend Vishwa, Taijasa, Pradnya in order to realize ourselves as we are. So in this seventh chapter, the Turiya Atma is indicated. First, by negating all the false notion which we have about ourselves. What is the false notion? That I am a knower. I know the outer world. I am the knower of inner world. That sense of knowership we have. And along with that sense of knowership, we also have the sense of doership and enjoyership. We consider ourselves as the doer of actions, and we consider ourselves as the knower or what you call enjoyer of the results of action. So here the Turiya is pointed out by negating all these false notions. See, I am Turiya, but what I consider myself is false notion about myself. So those false notions are removed through negation. First we have to understand and then negate all these false notions. So what is Turiya? Na antaprajnam. Turiya is not the knower of the inner world. Turiya is not the dreamer. Na bahishprajnam. Turiya is not the knower of the outer world. Turiya is not the waker. No, Ubhayata Prajnam. Turiya is not in between the dreamer and the waker. Na Prajnana Ghanam. Turiya is not Prajnana Ghanam, the one who remains in deep sleep. And when I wake up, I say, oh, I did not know anything, I slept happily. That is a false notion about myself. So that also has to be negated. Na prajnam. Turiya is not a knower at all. It is indicated elsewhere as of the nature of knowledge itself. So it is not a knower. Na aprajnam. But that doesn't mean it is inert. It is not inert also. So this is the language of negation. Then again, it is said Turiya is adrishtam, cannot be seen. Turiya is not an object of our senses. It cannot be seen, heard, tasted, touched, smelt. Adrishtam. Therefore, Turiya is also avyavaharyam. You cannot do any vyavahar. There is no vyavahar happening in Turiya. No transaction, no activity happens in Turiya. Agrahyam, it cannot be grasped through our organs of action, nor can it be grasped through our mind, our intellect. It is agrahyam. It is alakshanam. Means you cannot point out any lakshanas, the characteristics of Turiya directly. So it is alakshanam. Achintyam. Therefore, Turiya is achintyam. One cannot think about, because for thinking also some support is required. Some knowledge is required. Some lakshanas are required. But there is nothing, so one cannot even think about that Turiya. Avyapadeshyam, therefore, it cannot be even conveyed. You cannot teach about Turiya. You cannot even teach. So is it impossible to realize Turiya? Upanishad says no, there is one support which we can get. Though Turiya is very subtle beyond all perception, but there is one experience which we have which is connected to the Turiya more intimately. And that is the experience of I am, our own existence. Atma Pratyaya it is called. Ekatma Pratyaya Saram. Atma Pratyaya means the thought of my own existence. I have this experience, I am. It comes in the form of thought only. In deep sleep, where there are no thoughts, even this experience is not there. But in waking and dream, when thoughts are there, the experience I am is there. And this experience of I am, this thought of I am doesn't belong to any objects of this world. It is connected to the Turiya Atma indirectly. Just like a shadow is connected to the person, This I thought is connected to the Turiya Atman. So the Upanishad say Ekatma Pratyaya Sadham. That this Atma Pratyaya is Saram is Anusaram. It is that which we can follow, which we can pursue to recognize that Turiya. Also, it is the Praman. See, when everything is denied, when Turiya is not this, not this, not this, one may think that, okay, Turiya may not be there only. If everything is denied, then how do you say that such a thing called Turiya is? So the Praman is this Aham Pratyaya. The most fascinating experience which we can ever have is the experience of our own existence. All other experiences in this world are what we call of something other than the self. This experience of I am is connected to the self directly. So it's a praman. Ekatma Pratyasaram is praman of the existence of Turiya. And with the help of this praman, when we meditate, we attain that Turiya. In Brahma Sutra Bhashya also, Adhyas Bhashya, Shankaracharya writes, Jnana Pramanenaiva Avagantum Ishtam Brahma. That Brahma which we desire to attain can be attained through Jnana Praman, through a Praman which is free of all doubts. And that Praman is the experience of I am. Therefore, Vedanta is not just a belief. It is very, very powerful. Every other thing is some belief. Even so-called science is a belief which keeps on changing. What science believed few decades ago, it no longer believes the same now. But Vedanta is unshakable because it is that the praman is this aham asmi anubhuti itself. So ekatma pratyaya saram. Then Turiya is prapancha upashamam, prapanchopashamam. In Turiya, there is no prapancha. Turiya is that in which prapancha has dissolved. What is prapancha? Dvaita prapancha. Dvaita. What is Dvaita? Dvaita means I and something else. Sense of two. I am there and something other than me is also there. Like now we say I am, and this world is there in front of me. So I am there, and the world is there. This duality is called Dvaita Prapancha. And we have seen in the introduction that this Dvaita Prapancha is false. I am not false. World is not false. The notion that I and the world are two is false. See, in Jagrat, I see the world, an ignorant person sees the world, and an enlightened person also sees the world. Even Bhagwan Sri Krishna, he also saw the world. Bhagwan Sri Ram, he also saw the world. So were they ignorant? No. Seeing the world itself doesn't make us ignorant. But to have the notion that I am different and this world is different is due to ignorance. That is called Dvaita Prapancha. This Dvaita Prapancha is not there in Turiya. This we have to understand properly. That is called Prapancha Upashanam. The Prapancha, Dvaita Prapancha has got dissolved. It gets dissolved in Turiya. See, in the waking, the Vishwa sees the world. In dream, Taijasa sees the dream world. In deep sleep, I, Prajna, do not see any world. So there is no Dvaita Prapancha in deep sleep. But ignorance is still there because when I wake up, again I continue with my foolishness. Though I experience Advaita in deep sleep, I continue to be foolish when I wake up. But in Turiya, there is no Dvaita Prapancha. Turiya is not a different state like sleep. Turiya is not a state. Sometimes people call it is a state of meditation. It is not a state of meditation. It is not a state. Turiya is present in the waking, in dream, in deep sleep. An enlightened person is always in Turiya. भिद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिः छिन्द्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः क्षीयन्ते च यस्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे. When one has attained that state of enlightenment, this Dvaita Granthi of that person gets destroyed. All his karmas get burned. All his doubts get dispelled. Yatra yatra mano yati tatra tatra samadhayaha. So wherever the enlightened person's mind goes, he remains in samadhi only. Like Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi Ji, in the waking state, he was looking at this world. He used to do that pradakshina of Arunachala Parvat, interact with his devotees. But was he awake? No. Was he dreaming? No. Was he asleep? No. He was in Turiya. He was always in that Turiya, as Turiya. His body appeared to be in the waking. He appeared to be dreaming. He appeared to be asleep to others. But he was always in Turiya. So Turiya is not a state. So how come in the waking he was in Turiya? Because he was looking at this world. So there must be Dvaita. Just looking at this world doesn't make it as Dvaita Prapancha. World is not Dvaita Prapancha. I am not Dvaita Prapancha. But the notion that I am different from the world is Dvaita Prapancha. That notion is not there in an enlightened person. The body of the person, enlightened person, continues to function. The mind of the enlightened person continues to function. But there is no false notion that I am different, this world is different. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, who is Turiya Atma alone, he tells Arjuna that I am the brightness in the sun. He was looking at the sun. He could see the moon. He could see the world. But he considered the entire world as his own self. Brightness in the sun is me. Brilliance in the moon is me. So there was no sense of division in his mind that I am different, this world is different. So that is called absence of Dvaita Prapancha. This has to be understood properly. Because those who misunderstand this world itself as Dvaita Prapancha, they expect the world to disappear when enlightenment happens. The world doesn't disappear. Your foolishness will disappear if you have gained proper knowledge. Otherwise, the foolishness will continue. So, Prapancha Upashamam is a very beautiful term. That in that Turiya Atma, there is no Prapancha, there is no Dvaita, there is no duality. I am the seer, this world is seen, the duality is not there. Knower and known, seer and seen, enjoyer and the enjoyed. Such duality is not there. That is called Prapanchopashamam. The whole world gets dissolved. Why does it get dissolved? How does it get dissolved? Because the seer of the world also gets dissolved. The seer also disappears. The seen also disappears. Turiya alone remains. The play of seeing and seen happens in the Turiya only, without creating any divisions. So this has to be properly understood, and one has to meditate on this. Because in all our practices, This notion of Dvaita always remains, which has to be dropped. Finally, through Nididhyasana, we have to drop this notion of duality. Notion I am saying because it is false, it is not true. But it is very strongly held in our mind. So when that notion gets dropped, we gain evidence in our own self as Turiya. So prapanchopashamam is very, very important. One can continue looking at this world, but then for an enlightened person, the whole world becomes his own self. Atmeva bhut vijanataha. When everything has become one's own self, then who will see what? Who will hear what? I mean, there will not remain any separate seer to see a separate scene. So, prapancha upashamam. And when this prapancha upashamam turiya is attained, then there alone is pure shanti, shantam. Because all ashanti is in duality only, in Dvaita. All ashanti is in Dvaita. When I alone am there, nothing other than me is there. Then there is no ashanti. See, for ashanti, two things are required. You want to clap, two hands are required. Where there are no two, there is no ashanti. So shantam, peace. Even when the whole world is noisy, even when war is happening, like the Mahabharata war, Bhagwan Krishna was the charioteer, but where was he seated? In Shanti, Prahasanniva Bharata. Absolutely happy and peaceful. Bhagwan Shiva, Shantam, Shivam, Sundaram, Satyam Shivam Sundaram, Shantam, absolutely peaceful. Because all Ashanti, which we experience in the mind and the world, is because of Dvaita only. Where I myself have got dissolved into the Prapancha Upashamam means to dissolve myself, means the seer of the world as well as the seen. Just like in the water, we add sugar and stir it. What happens? Get dissolved. So Prapanchopashamam Shantam. Absolutely. Turiya is peaceful. Vishwa is not peaceful. Tejasa is not peaceful. Even Prajna, for sometimes when we are asleep, we experience peace, but again we wake up into Ashanti. But Turiya is peaceful all the time. That peace you can see in an enlightened person's eyes also. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's eyes absolutely peaceful. Because if you enter his being through his eyes, you will not encounter any restlessness, any disturbing thoughts directly connected to the Turiya. Therefore, when an enlightened person looks at us, it is like the Turiya Atman is looking. So Shantam, then Turiya is Shivam. Shivam is absolutely pure, auspicious. Shivam is auspicious, means absolutely pure. Means there is no impurity of anything in that Turiya. Never. Though Turiya itself is expressing as Prajna, Tejasa, Vishwa, there is no impurity in that Turiya. Means Turiya doesn't get anything in it other than itself. So what is impurity? When we have milk, we add something to that milk, it becomes impure. So in Turiya, if we add some non-Turiya stuff, it will become impure. But there is nothing non-Turiya. There is no impurity at all. Shivam, that is my nature. Since we identify with our body, mind, we keep on trying to do all sorts of upasana and all karmas to purify ourselves. Yogina karma kurvanti sangam tektva atma shuddhaye. A karma yogi does karma to purify himself. Purify himself means purify his body, his mind, his intellect. Atma doesn't require any purification. It never becomes impure. It is always pure. Pavitram. So Shivam. Even when Turiya itself is expressing through everything and everyone, even in the dirtiest place also, Turiya is present. In the worst person, Turiya is present. But it's always pure. की फर्क पैदा किसी चीज से कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है तुरीयम शिवम therefore it's called Shivam and Advaitam. This Turiya itself is called Advaita. Advaita means I alone am there. Nothing other than me is there. That understanding happens to an enlightened person. Because other than Turiya, nothing is there. See, like gold. Gold alone is there, even when that gold expresses as different ornaments. Different ornaments are seen by the seer. But really speaking, other than gold, nothing is there. Similarly, the world is seen by the seer of the world, but nothing other than Turiya is there. The seer of the world is also Turiya, world is also Turiya. Therefore, it's Advaitam. I alone am there. One who sincerely, seriously meditates. In the beginning, one may even get frightened because other than me, nothing is there, no one is there. No devtas are there, no jivas are there, no nothing is there. Everyone is myself. मैं ही मैं हूँ. That is called कैवल्य स्थिति. केवलस्य भावः. Only I alone am there. Absolute oneness. That is called Advaita. Advaita is another name of Turiya Atman. All these are different names of Turiya Atman only. Turiya Atma is Shantam. Turiya Atma is Shivam. Turiya Atma is Prapanchopashamam. Turiya Atma is Advaitam. Chaturtham Manyante. The teachers and the Upanishads also named Turiya Atma as fourth. Turiya Atma is named as fourth. First, second, third, fourth. Fourth doesn't mean there are three and then this is the fourth. But with respect to the three which we experience now in the state of ignorance, we experience ourselves as the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. At a cosmic level, the waker is Vaishwanara, the dreamer is Hiranyagarbha, the deep sleeper is Ishvara. So with respect to these three, Turiya is indicated as fourth. Fourth doesn't mean that these three also are there and he is also there. But it is indicated through these three. Once that Turiya is recognized, all these three also merges into Turiya only. So it is indicated as Chaturtham. Chaturtham Manyante. Sa Atma. This Turiya is that Atma. Sa Atma. He is the Atma. Which Atma? In the beginning it was said, na? I am Atma Brahma. This I am Atma, this Atma is this Turiya only, which we falsely identify with the body, the mind, or with the deep sleeper. This Atma is really Turiya. So what I consider as I, free from all these upadhis, is Turiya. So Sa Atma, Savidneya, and this Atma has to be recognized. Savidneya, he alone has to be known. See, in the Upanishad, though they talk about Brahma, but Brahma finally has to be known as Atma only. Knowing Brahma objectively is not the goal of the Upanishads. But Brahma is revealed as the cause of this world. Janmadhyasya yataha. But having known that Brahma, which is the cause of this world, which is indicated as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Anandam, Ekam, finally we have to understand that Brahma as I, Aham, Aham Brahmasmi. I am Atma Brahma. This Atma is Brahma. This is the final destination, final knowledge. I am Atma Brahma. Sa Atma Sa Vidneya. This is Turiya. So this Turiya is indicated here in the seventh mantra. The ultimate goal, the ultimate theme of all the Upanishads, of all the Puranas, of all Itihas, of all our Shastras is this Turiya Atma. Not knowing that Turiya Atma itself, we get involved with the lower things. So recognizing this Turiya Atma is the aim and goal of Adhyatma. When we even to worship Ishvara as different from ourselves is to remain in the field of Dvaita. Therefore we have this Dvaita darshan, like Madhvacharya ji. He spoke about Dvaita darshan, that I, a jiva, am different from other jivas. Then I, a jiva, is different from this world. Then I, a jiva, is different from Ishvara. So that philosophy talks about these differences which we experience in the state of ignorance. And he says that through bhakti we can reach the dham of Ishvara. But Vedanta says even if you reach the dham, it is not the final destination. Again, you may have to come back into this samsara. So the final is to recognize ourselves as the Turiya Atma, as that Brahma. Aham Brahmasmi. So what is the purpose of recognizing Turiya? What is the purpose of recognizing myself, my true nature? Because chalta hai, everything is going on. So many people are there in this world. Who is the recognized Turiya Atma? Life goes on. No? Life doesn't stop because I have not recognized Turiya. Life goes on. Countries are fighting wars. People are fighting, communities are fighting with each other. People are fighting with each other, struggling to acquire things in this world, wealth, position, name, fame, status, property. Life goes on. A young person or a child and all, we say they're ignorant, running around. But even elderly people, they are busy. इतनी उम्र बीत गई फिर भी अक्ल में आ गई। अंगं गलितं पलितं मुंडं दशन विहीनं जातं तुंडं वृद्धो याति गृहीत्वा दंडं तदपि न मुंचति आशा पिंडम। वृद्ध हो गया है, ओल्ड एज, बट स्टिल we have a stock of asha, expectation. Expectation from the society, expectation from the government, expectation from our family members. Parents have expectation from their children. They should behave in this way. They should not talk to me like that. Children have expectation from their parents. Then we have expectation from our relatives. If they are rich, we have expectation. If they are popular, we have expectation. If they are poor, we have expectation that they should not come to us. So the world goes on. So why should we know this Turiya? Turiya को जानकर क्या होगा? What is so special about Turiya Atman? I agree, I don't know myself. But without knowing myself also, as though in a sleep, as though in a dream, I am moving around. See, sometimes people get lost in the city also. They don't know which direction they should go. But even when they are lost, they move around. If they find something eatable, some place where they can eat, they eat there. They find some person to talk, they talk. And their life goes on. They are lost, but they continue to live. Similarly, many of us are lost in this samsara, continue unaware. So, what is the use of this knowing this Turiya? What is so special about Turiya Atma? Now, after this mantra, Gaudapadacharya ji has written his Karika, in which he tells the beauty of this Turiya Atma. In many shlokas. In 9 shlokas, Gaudapadacharya ji tells the glory of Turiya. So let us chant shloka number 10 from Gaudapadacharya ji's Karika. Nivrutte sarvadukhanam ईशान प्रभुरव्ययः अद्वैतः सर्वभावानां देवस्तुर्यो विभुस्मृतः निवृत्ते सर्वदुःखानां ईशान प्रभुरव्ययः अद्वैतः सर्वभावानां देवस्तुर्यो विभुस्मृतः. He says this Turiya is Nivrutte Sarvadukkhana. Turiya is that in whom all dukkha, all sufferings, all sorrows, they come to an end. They just get dissolved, no sorrow. Suddenly, all the sorrows just disappear. Just like sometimes you have some pain and all in your stomach because of kidney stone, intense pain. It remains for a long time, and you wonder, will it ever disappear? Keep taking medicine, keep taking all sorts of fluids, and then suddenly disappears. Similarly, in this samsara, waking, dream, deep sleep, again waking, dream, human being, animal, bird, plant, devta, this, that, all different types of life forms, sorrow, pain, suffering, sarvam dukkham dukkham, sarvam kshanikam kshanikam. It appears as though this dukkha will never go. Yashoshanam indriyana. In Gita, Arjun says, this sorrow which I am experiencing, I don't know whether it will ever go. Even if I attain the kingdom of heaven, I don't think I will become happy. I am now destined to remain unhappy forever. Like that we lament. But when we go to sleep temporarily, we become free of sorrow. Like you take a painkiller, sometimes you feel, nice, huh? No sorrow. Then you wake up, again the sorrow comes. But when one attains Turiya, in Turiya, there is no sorrow. There is no suffering at all. Because not only all the causes of suffering has got dissolved, even the one who was suffering has got dissolved. He disappears. There's no one there. Turiya alone is there. So nivritti sarva dukkhanam. All the dukkhas, they just disappear. Nivritta ho jate hain. All the dukkha of waking, dream, deep sleep. All the dukkha of Vishwa, Tejasa, Prajna. All of them just disappear. भगवान का प्रसाद मिल जाता है. In Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagavan says, Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajaayate. Prasanna chetaso yasho buddhi paryavatishthati. The one who gains this prasad of self-knowledge, it destroys, it dispels all dukkha. Dukkha hi nahi. Just like when you go to the sun, S-U-N, when you ask the sun about darkness, you say, what darkness? I don't know what you are talking about. In the sun, there is no such thing called darkness. On earth, we experience darkness and light. In the sun, there is no such thing called darkness. In that Turiya, there is no such thing called sorrow. It is pure, unadulterated bliss. Nivrutte sarva dukkhanam ishana prabhuravya. That Turiya is the Ishan, is the Ishwar. He is the Ishwar, he is the real Ishwar. He is the Ishwar, he is the real Ishwar. He is the ultimate Ishwar. He is the Prabhu. Ishwara means Prabhu, master. He is the ultimate master. Advaita Sarva Bhavana. He is the very Advaita Tattva in all. He is present in all. He alone is all. Being all, he is present in all. Being all, he is present in all. Devaha, he is that great Devata. Turiyaha, he is called Turiya. Vibhuhu, all pervading, present everywhere, in everything. Smataha, thus is indicated that Turiya is the most beautiful, most sublime, is our own supreme nature. More about this we will see in our class on Monday. Till then, you take care. Be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy. Do your work, do your sadhana. Listen to the pravachan again. Even if you think you have heard it properly, मैंने सुन लिया है, again you listen. Because always we miss something. So listen to it again, contemplate, meditate, and we shall meet again soon. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Bole Syavar Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.